thing on? Can you hear me? What's up, guys? How's everybody doing? Every time I say we're going to have a quick show, it never ends up being a quick show. But today might be. We'll kind of see how it goes. Little baby girl's home today, and she is very excited that she is home today and Dad is home. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll just have her do the podcast. I mean, ask Snacks. She can do some talking. And then we had that discussion last week. It was kind of funny. She is a ball of fire, you might say. How's everybody doing this morning? Did I already ask you that? Still on vacation? Where'd you go to vacation? Still on vacation. Man, what's that like? That long of a vacation? I keep telling myself one of these days I'm going to take a vacation, like a good long vacation. Man, what I would like to do sometime, I know that people like to travel and do this and do that and go here and go there when they go on vacation, see all these exhibits and everything, and I'm here for that. I'm totally up for that. But I genuinely think that legit I could just get a house on the beach and just sit on the beach all day, every day. You could people watch, you could watch things come in and go out, get me a chair and an umbrella and a cooler full of soda pop, literally, and just call it a day. I think I could get down with that. Now my man here says he's on a 6-week vacation, so maybe I'm not doing that for 6 weeks. But I mean, I could totally get by with just being a bum on a beach for that long. 2-3 days, 4 days, 5 days. Go inside and eat. Maybe go somewhere, get some, fresh seafood, that kind of thing. And then just go right back out. But having not done that, I couldn't tell you, but I think I could get down with that life. I really do. So we got got the state champ in the house here. See CJ checking in. USSSA C state champion from Missouri. My man has been on a rampage this year, winning what seemingly is practically every tournament he shows up to. Co-ed, men's, ASA, U-Trip. I mean, I think that, what do you got? You got One Nation. I think they're just going to start making sanctions just so you can win them. So that video is on Facebook. I went live. Thanks CJ for going live so I could refeed that. I'm going to probably, if I can figure out how to get it downloaded from Facebook, I'm going to try and repost it here. Just, I thought it was kind of fun and unique. I had some friends of mine that I just like my page for no other reason than because they're my friend, and they were like, "Oh yeah," it's like I actually stopped in and watched a little bit. Like it was really cool. Like you were broadcasting the game. Obviously, it was nothing official, but it's really fun. I really like doing that. It kind of got me thinking too. So there's constantly people going live and watching games, and I mean, sometimes like I just wish I had a game to watch. So like I know that at one point there was a Facebook page where it was like live softball, whatever. Basically, if you were going live, you could share your feed there, or you could even go live in that group. But I think something like that would be kind of cool if you could figure out a way to get a group or a page, or maybe you just do a page. You do a Facebook page, and you organize it between 7 or 8 people that are constantly going live. Just so it seems like there's always some softball to watch. It'd be kind of unique, kind of interesting. Brian says he shows up for the background music. Could we have you take it down to library tone? Is it too loud? I didn't think it was. I mean, it's barely clipping on my screen. Jason B, are there people out there actually paying $800 for the highlighter Freak 30? Dude, like that is a topic I could get into. But it's such a rant thing. Raffle pages have absolutely ruined the used bat market. Have absolutely ruined it. You can find anybody that will raffle anything. It's insane. Now eBay is a different story. There's lots of uninformed, uneducated buyers on eBay. I personally have got sucked into buying a couple of dumb things on eBay when I was younger and didn't know any better when it comes to slow pitch bats. So, I mean, there is totally the inexperience, or somebody hears at the ballpark this is what they need to buy, so then they run out and buy it no matter what it costs. But it's crazy how 220 bats are basically like, somebody asked me the other day, like, oh, what's the going rate on this bat? I mean, realistically, if it's a 220 stamp bat and it's a brand that's a household name, pretty much just start at $200. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter if it has a receipt or a barcode, because you're going to get a 240 back for it, and nobody wants the 240s. Everybody wants a 220. But what surprises me is there's still so many 220s sitting on shelves. Headbanger has a lot of Freak Primos. They have a lot of the Corey Briggs Psychos. They're slowly dwindling down on their inventory of the Deadly Doom U-Trip models. These are all 220s. And why people are paying $250 for a used bat with no warranty, no anything. I get, like I said, nobody wants a 240, but at the same time, a warranty would be nice, right? So it kind of perplexes me a little bit in the standpoint of, why are we paying that much money? Are we just not looking around? Or is it we're genuinely paying for hype? That's what's puzzling to me. I don't quite understand where people are coming from with that stuff. Like, one of my favorite bats, as of recent here, since we laid hands on one, is the Dan Smith Dudley Doom USSSA 220 model, whatever. And there's some on Headbanger Sports right now, and I really, really want one, but I just can't talk myself into spending $200 on a bat. And it's brand new and wrapper with a warranty and receipt. And you got guys out here spending $250 on something with 500 swings on it because it's rare, or it's a gem, or even it's just something that, people get suckered into buying because they want the first thing they can find. Maybe it's the stimulus checks going a little like off the beaten path of thought mentality. But maybe it is stimulus checks. Everybody's got money to blow, so it's just like, all right, fine, I'll just buy one. I don't need this money anyway. I didn't need this money. You know when they gave it to me? Well, I'm going to tell you something. We're not going to get too far down the road of like finances and everything else. But the world and the situation, the things that are going on in it, it's probably a good idea to save that money. Every check, every refund, every something that has been given out, we have just taken and just stuffed away. Don't even touch it, just stuff it away. Because you don't know when you're going to need it. What if somebody does get sick and they're out of work for an extended period of time? You don't have that money because you decided to spend it on this, that, or whatever else. And if you're buying things that like you need, like, I need, some repairs done to the house, or I need some repairs done to my car, or I needed to put some money down on a new car, like things like that, like I can kind of get behind. But that money is definitely going to come in handy when you may not think you'll need it at all. People have taken the I'm bulletproof stance to some of this stuff that's going on in the world, and it's blowing up in their faces, and they're really wishing they would have had, those stimulus packages and that kind of thing, and actually saved them instead of spending them on the first thing they could find. But I'm not going to get down like a political road or anything like that. I'm not that guy. I'm not going to do that. So that's just my quick skim over of that situation. We're just gonna right over the top of that. Well, it's like flying over it in a plane. You kind of peek out the window, look and see what's going on, and then you just pull the shade back down and keep flying over. That's all we're gonna do with that one. Catching up with chat here. Some Batflip Bros. Hey, bro, listen. So, the guy Batflip Bros here in the chat, he's got himself a little YouTube channel, and dude, he's been grinding. He's been putting out some content. I've been watching him, been checking him out. Go check it out when we get done here. I like his content. It's good to have content creators. It doesn't feel like he's forcing himself to do anything he doesn't want to do. He's just being himself. That's very much what I like about Adam's reviews too, is he's just doing it to do it. He's not doing it because he has to or thinks he's going to be the next YouTube star, or not out here going nuts looking for 1 million views. The guy just likes making slow pitch bat videos, and that's what he's going to do. I've been digging the content, bro. So you guys need to go check that out when we get done here. He's been hanging out in the chat for a while, and I dig it. I tell you what, and by the way, so Snacks brings this up. He's got a video in part of the video where he's doing self-toss. He's just doing self-toss to get swings in on a bat. And I'm going to tell you something. That man can mash the shit out of a soft toss, or out of a self-toss pitch. I don't know how he does it. Couldn't tell you. You'd not even begin to tell you how he does it. Because I can self-toss and do all that stuff. Yeah, it's not like I'm swinging and missing, or out here looking like some uncoordinated buffoon. But man, I ain't hitting it like that. It's impressive. Yeah, between hitting the soft toss far and just the exit speed those things have, I can't do it. It kind of makes me want to go out and do some self toss, just to see if I can get better at it. So he actually, that's Albert brings that point up here. So he did the Onyx Matrix. I kind of want to check that thing out. I think once I get caught up with some stuff that I've got here at the house, things that I have on hand. I've got a lot of stuff on hand I need to dish. And once I do that and get a little bit of cash flow going, I want to buy a couple of these oddity bats that people are talking about. Adam, Fat Guy BP, did a review on the, the Suncoast 240. That seems pretty intriguing. And if anything, that bat looks freaking sick. So I want to try one of those out. And then this Onyx Matrix. I'm kind of to the point in the year where I'm tired of swinging the big name stuff. Let's do the stuff that nobody's talking about and see what's up with it. And I know I keep promising the ASA content is coming soon, and I'm just really struggling with this monster thing. I'm just gonna throw this out there. I'm gonna lay it on you. So I'm really struggling with this monster thing. I want to like it. I want to like it a lot. I've got a couple other ASA bats. I've been swinging them side by side. and then revisiting the Bombardier, they say. And I almost feel like if I say that I don't like this bat in the video, that people are just going to lose their minds. It's basically going to force my hand into doing another monster video. Maybe I talked about this last week or a couple weeks ago, I can't remember, but just kind of like revisiting this situation yesterday when I was at BP with Brian. Just like there's others that I have swung that I do like. Now, when I say like, that doesn't mean let's not everybody just run out and buy one. I'm just saying that I like it. I would compare it to, yes, this is a top tier ASA bat, just the same as all the others that I feel are top tier. I have not hit but just a handful of balls off of any monster that's like, damn, okay, like, yeah, this thing is like good. I have hit them, yes. But I've also hit that type of ball with other bats as well. Excuse me. So it just, maybe the Bombardier wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I mean, it's had swings put on it. It's breaking in. I've given it more of a fair shot than I would a lot of other stuff. But I just can't dig it. So what's going to end up happening is I'm going to end up posting a review on that, and then I'm going to have to go out and get something else. What I need to figure out is what something else comparable is. The Malefilis, I don't know, like I said, I don't know a ton about monsters or the tech or where they come from, but the Malefilis is one that's like really got my attention. I either need to get my hands on the Malefilis that I've swung, because I know I have access to that bat, or find something current year model that is very comparable to that. But either way, that's the update with the ASA stuff. I've been holding off on the ASA stuff. I've actually got 3 different videos edited and ready to post that are from ASA stuff, but I feel like if I start posting those and they'll post this Bombardier, then people are going to lose their minds. Maybe they won't, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of where I'm at with it. Like, I'm tired of doing like the big name stuff, and we have been swinging a lot of 240s, and I know that people are getting burned out on the 240s because there's people that do want the ASA content, ASA, USA, whatever. And I'm ready. I'm ready to start swinging it a little bit. So the plan is, it's going to work out really well, because when I do these throwback videos, I like to hit the hard stuff. I mean, that's what they hit back in the day. They didn't hit 52s back in the day. They hit the hard stuff. So basically, we can take our bag of BP balls and hit the hard stuff with the throwback bats, and then hit the ASA stuff with the ASA bats. And that's going to give us throwback content, and that's going to give us ASA content, things of which we both need. So we get the ball rolling on that here pretty soon. Let's see. Batflip Bro says he has an extra Onyx 240. Let me get caught up with some of these other 240s. Like I said, I'm kind of getting burned out on the 240s. I'm definitely not saying I won't swing that. Just this ASA Onyx thing has got my attention. And the Ruckus. Jonathan Stevenson is asking if I've been swinging the Ruckus. I'm assuming you mean the 2 or 3 year old model that everybody's overpaying for. Yeah, the reviews on the channel. I don't know. It's one of my more popular videos, and I can't figure out if it's because people are like starting to catch the hype, so everybody's just like looking for reviews, and that's one of them, or if it was just something different. I feel like maybe just because it's something different, and it's not just another Mikan or another Worth or another Easton. Golly, the Eastons, man. Let's see. So Aram says, what are your thoughts about the best position to keep your hands before the load? I recently went from keeping my hands up behind my head to a lower stance near my chest to cut the ball easier. I don't know. I'm not good to ask this question to. I'll explain to you why. I'll pull up a clip here as I'm sitting here talking about it. My hands, notoriously for years, have done whatever they want. And to be quite honest with you, it just drives me insane. I've tried and tried and tried and tried and tried and tried to make my hands do something different in my swing. And it doesn't matter what I do, they always end up coming up, back, and up, basically up by my ear. For a while there, I kind of had them dialed in to where they would stay down about my shoulder. But just muscle memory is just what it is. Man, it sucks. Let's see, I gotta mute this. Let's see. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Hello? Oh man. Okay, let's do this. Holy smokes, would you look at that? So, example of what I'm talking about here. Let's see, how can I advance a frame? Just one frame at a time. Can I do that in VLC? No. Like, okay, a perfect example of what I'm talking about here. Like, look where my hands are. This drives me nuts. It doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter what I've tried to do. Anything I've tried to do to break the habit, I always end up with my hands up and back behind my ear. Like, yes, I know I have a downswing on the ball. I mean, there's another one there, just a cut swing. But it doesn't matter what kind of swing I'm taking. They always end up. You can still see it there. That's Dylan. Doesn't matter what I do. They always end up by my ear and up behind my head and by my ear. I don't like it. Because at times it messes with my swing plane, which is going to mess with the consistency of my swing. Let's see if we can pull up another one here. Yeah, so here I'm even pulling the ball and doing the same thing. Like, I don't know. More movement equals more consistency. I've stood by that for years. Like, here's another one. Even my hands are even out on this one a little bit. Like, I'm getting up casting my hands at this ball. I don't know. It's the same thing though. I mean, just like by my head, my ear. I don't like it. I wish I could make myself stop doing it. I mean, if you're comfortable doing that and it seems to be working for you, then do you. When it comes to like really technical things with the swing like that, I don't get too far into giving advice and opinions on stuff like that. Unless we're talking to a player that is like low rec level and kind of like starting to swing. Those are habits we don't need to start. But if you're experienced in the game, you've been doing this thing for a while, I feel like you can kind of manipulate your swing and do your swing different ways. One thing I always tell people when you know, I'm kind of working with them, or like they're trying to work out of a funk, or, you know, like what should I do different there? You know, like I feel like, what am I doing wrong? Like my swing is messed up. My swing is this and my swing is that. And I'm going to tell you, like a lot of times, it's not so much the swing. Like I said, unless you're just low rec level or just getting started or really kind of trying to figure out your slow pitch swing. We must pay homage to him. Hang on. Sorry, dad moment. I thought I heard daughter choking on breakfast in the other room, like dad instinct took over. So anyway, as I was saying, your swing is what your swing is. Like, you can apply your swing in a lot of different ways. It's the approach that you take with your swing is what the issue is. A lot of times people are like, oh, my step is this, or my step is that, or my hands do this, or you know, I need to do this with my elbow, or I need to do this with my hands. And like a lot of times you can fix a lot of things. And I'm not saying we're in some sense of the fashion putting a Band-Aid on some problems potentially, but a lot of times we don't need to be going and changing our swing. We just need to change our approach. Your swing is what makes you a hitter. How you use your swing is what the biggest difference is. Yeah, I've told guys that for a long time when it comes to maybe trying to help them get out of a funk, or, you know, they're just looking to get better. I mean, obviously there's things we can do, little small changes we could do to make anybody swing better. I was talking with Brian about some of that the other day, like me just working on incorporating my lower half better. So I mean, everybody's got things they can do different to improve, but I don't necessarily want to take or put the time into doing things like that right now, because it's kind of funny how the year winds down and softball actually picks up a little bit. It's just kind of how softball works in this area. Everybody spends all summer playing all this sanctioned stuff and traveling here and going there and doing this and doing that. And I don't know if it's the start of the school year. I don't know if it's the end of sanction ball, but it seems there's lots of local stuff that comes up. Lots of, podunk, throw together, fundraiser, cash tournaments, that kind of thing. So we stay pretty busy throughout the last half of the year here, and that's what I don't want to go mess with my swing when we're getting ready to play a lot of softball. Because that's the other big thing is, like, choose when you're going to make your changes. If you're going to change something in your swing, choose when you're going to make those changes and do it at a time that's not going to, like, hurt you or affect you in ways like that. And don't change more than one thing at a time. If you're going to change, don't change more than one thing at a time. Because if you go to changing your footwork and you change your hands and you change, your shoulders or how you use your hips, if you go changing a bunch of stuff at once, you're not going to know what worked and what didn't. You're going to say, well, this is worse. Well, what made it worse? Well, I don't know. Because you changed a bunch of stuff. You can't pinpoint what it is because everything is just out of whack. It's kind of dove down a rat hole there talking about swings and that kind of thing. But as far as keeping your hands lower, I am a big proponent of keeping your hands lower. Sorry, squirrel, hang on. You said that, yeah. So you, instead of keeping your hands up by your head, you keep them down by your chest. To me, what that's going to do is keeping them down by your chest is going to take your hands directly to the ball in the path of the contact zone, whatever you want to call it. Your bat and your bat head is going to be right there in the path to hit the ball. Your hands don't have to come down, back, or vice versa. They don't have to go back and down to then go to the ball. You've already got them down and in position to go straight to the ball. Less movement, less moving pieces, less props, steps, and processes in the swing, the better it'll be. Now, I do see somebody mentioning Ken Van Boeger here. And my only thing that I have never quite agreed with, I agree with a lot of things he says. I like a lot of the mental cues that he gives, like the mental, like one of my favorite things is like the throwing of the frisbee. Use your front hand, your lead hand, to act like you're throwing a frisbee. Like when you throw a frisbee, you don't get way out on your front foot. You don't lean way back on your back foot. If you're trying to throw a frisbee as far and as flat as possible, you're gonna wind all the way back up. I mean, clear back to like damn near grabbing the pocket of your shorts, and then just fling it. Everything's gonna come open. Your hips, your whole body's gonna twist, and that's your body should be doing the same thing when you're swinging a bat. I really, really, really like that cue of like thinking of your front hand like you're throwing a frisbee. It's just gonna make everything, in theory, it's gonna make everything kind of want to fire and come through at once. But one thing that it really gets me with stuff that he does is he wants everybody kind of like lean back and load it up on their back leg. Not necessarily a bad thing, but then he wants the bat down on the shoulder, like down, laid back, basically the bat head laid back behind you instead of your bat head up, because it's down to a movement thing. He wants, sorry, I don't mean to clear my throat. I took a nap and woke up and I'm just like, didn't give myself enough time to wake up, I don't think. But he basically preaches, we want the knob of the bat basically on or next to our shoulder so we can just take it and stab it straight through the zone. To me, that is a really good way to start a casting habit. And that would be something that would have to be monitored. These people go to him and get their swings fixed, and they have great results, have absolutely 100% great results with the work that he's done with them. But that is something that I would want, and maybe he does preach to monitor over time, is make sure you're not casting. Basically, you don't want your front hand to come all the way around. You don't want your front arm to be locked out and then just twist all the way around. You want to kind of throw both hands at the ball. And if you're starting with your lead arm locked already, it'd be really easy to just wave the whole thing through the zone. So to me, that's something I'm not a big fan of. That's why I think traditionally the hand should always be held close to a normal position. Yeah, and CJ hits the nail on the head here. CJ's a really good hitter. So, listen to what that guy has to say. Pitch selection is definitely more important than a swing adjustment. I 100% agree. Unless you're looking to tap into more power, or your swing has just got you so tied up that you can't hit a certain part of the field because of how your swing is built, pitch selection is going to fix 90% of your issues, personally. So just a couple of topics here. If there is anything else anybody wants to just hear something real quick on, we can do that. But somebody sent me a couple of topics here that I do want to talk about. And one of them is, now that we're almost a season in, would I rather swing a 240 bat or an ASA bat? Obviously, with respected balls for the sanction. And it's an unpopular opinion because everybody, hates hitting the 52s or whatever else. But I have concluded, I've said it to a few different people now, and like the more I say it, the more I'm like, that is what I want. I would rather swing an ASA bat with an ASA ball instead of hitting a 240 with a Pro-Am. So I don't trust me. I like hitting hard balls, and it is a general consensus because there are a handful of 240s out there that I feel hit just as well as 220s. But as that group of bats as a whole, how unforgiving they are, how kind of blah they feel in performance at times. The break-in period is good. I do like the fact there's a break-in period with them. And, who knows, maybe these things will get below 240 and be just as hot and still last a while. We haven't completely dove down that road of things yet, but I can tell you just from swinging all the 240s that I have, and then even just initially dabbling into the ASA stuff, the ASA stuff is where it's at for me. Yes, I like spinning the ball. That's going to be good for ASA. Yes, I like hitting 52s as it is, so that's going to be better for leaning towards ASA. But just as a whole, like the ASA bats are way more forgiving. You still got to earn your hits because the 52-300 is still a ball that's going to make you have to put a good swing on it. That's one thing that I do like about the 240s is the fact that you still have to use the bat correctly. It's not like a 220 bat where you can, I think I actually told somebody, and I quote, because somebody was like, oh, so-and-so said the 240 bat sucked because it was their first experience with them in a tournament here recently. And he said, oh, so-and-so said 240 bats suck. I said, yeah. I said, there's no more 340-foot taper shots anymore. You've actually got to use the barrel. And that's 100% true. So the 240s are good in that aspect of like it makes you earn your hits, but an ASA bat and an ASA ball can do the same thing. The ASA ball is going to make you earn your hits. You've got to hit that ball in the face. You've got to spin it to get it to go somewhere. There's technique that goes into the swing, just the same as it would the 240. But to me, the ball is way more reliant on how it's hit because a hard ball is still a hard ball. You get good barrel on it, it's still going to go somewhere. If you're talking 240 and Pro-Am, as to where ASA with the ASA ball, man, it's going to make you drive. It's going to make you spin the ball, put a good swing on it. Every now and then you're going to have those guys that are just doing a good job of getting the barrel through the ball every time. That's not going to matter. But from an overall standpoint, I feel like personally, I would rather swing an ASA bat at an ASA ball than I would a 240 at a Pro-Am. Now, I said that to say, if you see me in a ballpark somewhere swinging a 240 playing ASA, because here in Missouri for ASA we can swing basically anything. It's basically got to have a U-trip stamp or an ASA stamp as long as we're hitting 52s. You could see me out there swinging a 240 bat because it's more about the ball. It's more about the ball than the bat. The comparison here is 240 with a Pro-Am versus ASA with a 52. I'm taking ASA with a 52 all day long. So Jason says, do I think a one-piece 240 like a Proton is any better than a two-piece? Or is it just the new tech not performing? It's not that the tech isn't performing, because that's actually kind of a nice segue into this next question that I had. It's not that the tech isn't performing. It's how unforgiving that it is. Like, I feel like, you know, kind of funny you mentioned a Proton. So we swung the Proton yesterday, the 240, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. It's one of those deals where it's just the sweet spot is just so small compared to, like I said, a 220 bat. Like honestly, the Psycho that I'm swinging now, I'm maybe being a slight bit of a hypocrite, but like I'm swinging a D2E Psycho 14-inch barrel, and somehow it's got a 15-inch sweet spot. I mean, you just can't miss. You cannot miss with that bat. Even if you tried, you still can't miss the sweet spot. And even being a big barrel in a 240 model, these big barrel 240s just aren't the same way. You pretty much got to live off, you know, an actual sweet spot of the bat where you're not going to get a ton of performance. So it's just living on the good part of the bat is going to give you still good performance. It's just your leeway is way less than what it used to be, is kind of why, you know, I would go with the ASA instead of the 240. So I still feel like it's performing. Like so many guys, that's another misconception that kind of gets me sometimes is, you know, guys say, oh, 240 sucks. Those things don't perform at all. And you know how many guys have taken a wrapper off of a bat and stepped in a batter's box at league with it? With a bat that was testing 270, 280 and never thought a thing about it? Same thing now. I mean, these bats are testing 270, 280, but because it doesn't have this gargantuan sweet spot, you feel like the bat's not any good. And Adam is also correct when he says everyone got spoiled to bats dropping to 180 compression after, you know, a couple hundred swings and being hot out of the wrapper. Break it in a little bit. Learn how to be consistent. And the 240s are still good. I'm not going to say just as good as a 220. Obviously, there's a performance gap there. But like I said, so many guys swing bats in games that are above 240 that would blow their minds. It's just the level of sweet spot or forgiveness. And that's what the bat is designed to do. I am a huge fan of the 240 in the U-Trip game. If they woke up tomorrow and said, hey, we're banning 220s, fine, bet, let's go. I'm fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. Yeah, and Music for All says the same thing. Like, I'm all for 240 bats being unforgiving. People that are spoiled, you can just grab a bat and not really have to barrel the ball and have it fly. Yeah, 100%. That's why I'm a big fan of the 240 tech in U-Trip. I'm obviously nobody with a voice, but I would 100% be in support of U-Trip deciding to say, hey, you know what? No more 220s. I feel like it's going to come eventually. I know that everybody's saying that they're grandfathered in and everything else. But I feel like that day is coming. I feel like that day is coming. Maybe not soon, like in the next year or so, but I feel like that day is going to come. Then the fact of all these bat hoarders needing 96,000 bats in their collection, stacking up all these 220s, and you got a guy or two at the ballpark swinging 220s with a basement full of bats, and everybody else is swinging 240s. That's fine. Joke's on him for having 50 grand worth of bats in his basement. Let's see. Do a couple of things here. Bear with me here, kids. Trying to make sure I stay caught up with the chat, because I saw a couple of things that caught my eye here that I wanted to talk about before we get going. So I'm probably going to wrap this one up here in the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. And you know one thing I don't think I did? I don't think I said hello to my man Bogo Far. CV Laws checking in the chat. If anybody from the softball fans days remembers Bogo Far, say hello to my man. Congratulations on getting selected to the 40 and over Challenge Cup. Challenge Cup rosters have been dropping here soon, and my man made the Challenge Cup roster for his state, so that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to watching him. They'll be live on USSSA Live, I'm sure, so we get the chance to watch him. That's really cool. I can't wait to see him. That's one of my OGs, man. He's a really good guy. He's been good to me for years. We kind of lost touch after we got off of softball fans and you got reconnected with Facebook. That's a good dude. I like him a lot. So glad we got reconnected. He said he was going to come in, check it out, and hang out for a little bit. So I'm glad he's here. He actually messaged me and said, "Hey, man," he said, "I actually went back and listened to every season of the podcast. When's the next episode? Because I'm all caught up." That's dedication right there. Because there were some bad ones in there. There were some good ones too, but there were some bad ones in there too. So we did have a question. As a bigger guy, do you find it frustrating that most teams won't allow you to play outfield? I track the ball really well and have a good arm with 4 outfielders and defense. I don't need to cover. I'm assuming you mean you don't need to cover. Yeah, with 4 guys and. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, squirrel. How do I feel about teams? Not letting people like that go to the outfield. If it's a 4-man outfield, the 4-man outfield is all about just making plays. All about making plays. It obviously, you're going to want your fleet of foot guys out there if you've got, a guy that's better in the outfield than he is on the infield, but we've got this guy out here for reasons that we can't figure out. It would be a thing, but if you're hurting for outfielders or somebody needs a break, there shouldn't be anything wrong with going out there for an inning or 2. If you're playing a 4-man, you're showing up to the ballpark understanding 2 things. You're going to have to hit to win, and you're going to have to make every routine play you can. So as long as you're making the routine plays, you're not botching anything, and you're covering enough ground to where the guys around you aren't having to compensate for you. Big guys can still run. I got a friend of mine. He's a big guy, and I'm telling you what, he got that sneaky speed, and I know he knows who I'm talking about. The lefties just get down the line. He already said it in the chat. Snack said it in the chat. Said he played left last night. # sneaky speed. So Gabe, I know you guys haven't heard or seen much out of him lately. So Gabe's lost a lot of weight, but he was at one point, he was one of those bigger guys too. How he breaks on the ball and how he reads the ball makes up for so much. I used to put him in center field sometimes just for giggles. People kind of look at me sideways, but man, he covers so much ground because he's still fast for a bigger guy, and just the way he breaks on the ball, he gets to just as much stuff as a fast outfielder would. So there would be times where I put him in left field or put him in. I've even had him in center field for a couple tournaments. People kind of look at me sideways until he runs something down, and they're kind of like, "Oh, okay." So he can get it. And it's one of my all-time favorite things. I wish Gabe was here because he would tell you exactly what I'm about to say. One of my all-time favorite things when it comes to playing softball with Gabe when he's in the outfield, and the ball gets hit. Usually, you're playing in on the girls, and this girl will hit a ball and. Everybody gets excited. Oh, got him, run. Because all they see is the ball hit well at a big guy in the outfield. So next thing you know, everybody's just running around like chicken with their head cut off on the bases. And he runs this thing down with in stride, over the shoulder, turns around, just fires it back in because he knows he's got a force out basically anywhere. Just get it to a cutoff and let them decide where to throw it. That is one of my favorite things that Gabe does. It is so funny. Just because you hear, got him, run. And then they all go, oh. The awe of disappointment is my favorite. I didn't think he was getting to that. He caught that? Love those. Absolutely love it. I wish Gabe was here. Maybe we'll see if we can drag him on the show soon. And yeah, Snacks says the angle of pursuit. The football guys will remember that. So my guy, Alonzo, I think maybe you played with Alonzo. I had him play center field for me. I think you were there that year at Home Runs for Heroes. Because I think it was the year we lost to Michael Jr. home. We, dude, he's lightning fast. And he was a cornerback playing football in college. So it just instinctively, like, watching him track a ball it's so impressive. Like, he's fast anyway. So combine his speed with how he breaks and reads and the way his body moves in the outfield. Like, it's impressive to watch. Oh, what's up, Train? How you doing? Got here just in time. We're ready to shut her down, but you got here just in time. I'll say hey to you. So yeah, he's dude, he's so good. It's like I think a little bit of his obviously the speed, but just like the football instinct. Like, he's a tracker. You can tell just by watching him track the ball, his movements of tracking the ball. He has learned to move that way from playing football. And we've had the discussion. I believe I had that with Dustin when he was on the podcast about multi-sport athletes and how it can all pay off. What you do in one sport can pay off in another. And that's another one of those deals where, you know, you're tracking, you're zoning, you're in a zone defense. You're a cornerback, man. You're on the island. You're in the zone defense. So, you know, you've got the track, you've got to move, you've got to react to what's going on around you. And he does Alonzo playing center field. You might as well just go ahead and take your two other infielders and just bring them in and put them somewhere else. Cause he just gets it, man. Some people just get it, and he's one of them. I know he'll never see or hear this or anything else, but it's got to be said. Let's see. Oh yeah. BGF says the roller coaster of the co-ed roller coaster of excitement. Dude, that's for real. You know how many people get so excited? Or I was watching, somebody was live on Facebook last night. They were just live streaming their league game. Somebody probably wanted to watch or something. Whatever the situation was, I was watching that for a little bit because he's a buddy of mine. I was watching him play and get some swings in. And just people get so excited. You know, you have the girls that, you know, make good contact and oh no, what are you doing? Hey, come here, say hi to Snacks.
Hi, Snacks.
You can't escape her.
Daddy,
What?
I said that Mommy thinks so. You think that Mommy's funny?
Mommy's not funny.
Yeah, she is.
Funny looking. Ooh. I don't remember what I was saying. I got derailed. The co-ed train, yeah, the co-ed roller coaster of excitement. You know, you always get that one girl that, like, she may not get a lot of hits or she may not make a lot of contact sometimes. So it's the one time she hits the ball hard, everybody gets excited. They're all then the ball gets caught and they all go You see that so much. Sometimes that's half the fun of playing co-ed league. You know, getting excited with those people and interacting, man. I'm telling you, never be bigger than the game. That's what I'm going to leave you with today. Never be bigger than the game. I don't care who you are. I don't care what sanction you play. I don't care how many tournaments you've won. I don't care how many games you've won. I don't care how good of a hitter you are. I don't care if you're best player in the ballpark every time you show up. Don't be bigger than the game. Because people look up to those type of people in the ballpark. Don't be bigger than the game. Go and interact with those people. When those people want to talk to you, talk to them. It's okay to want to talk to people and interact, and how you base yourself and how you carry yourself around those people and to those people could make a difference to them. If the most popular person at the ballpark shows up and is acting like a clown, one of two things happened. One, everybody's going to say, oh, well, he's not as cool as I thought he was. Or the good players are cocky. That's the big one. You know, good players are cocky because they show up to the ballpark acting like a buffoon. Or well, he won't talk to anybody. No, I've tried to ask him a question before, or this or that or whatever else, and he won't hardly talk to me, or he won't look at me, or he avoids me. Don't be bigger than the game. Always try and give back. I'm not saying that every interaction I've had at a ballpark has been perfect. There's times where I just get caught at a bad time. But if you find a ball field and I'm on it, I promise you, I'm not walking around acting holier than thou, because trust me, I know I'm not. And it has nothing to do with like caliber of play or anything else. It's, I think sometimes people think, oh, well, he's a YouTuber, leave him alone, he won't talk to anybody, or everybody just kind of stands back and looks. Dude, if you see me somewhere, come say something. Because I guarantee you, I wish my wife was in here to tell you. Sometimes it takes us like 45 minutes to leave the ballpark, especially at like a big tournament with like a lot of like out of town teams. You always run into somebody that wants to stop and say hey and that kind of thing. Like I'm halfway tempted to start an album on my BP Hero page. Every time I meet someone, just take a picture with them, put it in the album. Did you make the album? Did you come say hey? I mean, why not, right? Like, don't be bigger than the game. Be approachable. When somebody needs help, help them. That doesn't mean give unsolicited help, but just be a good example. That's what I'm leaving you with today. I still managed to go almost an hour, even though I said I wouldn't. That's how you guys should know that I like you turds. So, thanks for stopping in, guys. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. Next Thursday, 10 a.m. Central. We'll be here. Swing hard in case you hit it. BP Hero, catch you next time.